Alright, welcome back everyone. We're going to have game 2 here between Miz and Azure. This is going to be for the 2BH Who Wears the Pants tourney. It is round of 8, so best of 3. Azure is currently 1 up, and the map choice... Sorry, Miz is currently 1 up. The map choice by Azure is Blistering Sands. I am Unstable. I'm joined here by Sif, a 2BH forum regular. And last game we saw a pretty aggressive, then extremely passive style from Miz. And I think we're going to see the same again, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would like to see something a little bit different. As I mentioned before, there is a $25 incentive for creative play in Who Wears the Pants tournament. There's also a huge $50 up for grabs for the winner of this 16-player tournament. So I'm sure whoever gets that will be able to take a whole, maybe half day off of work if they're working, or just go nuts and go shopping at maybe Myer and get themselves something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. Standard opening. Obviously, it's just a simple, pylon at the front of the base so they can wall up first circling harass. Nothing special there. No proxies. But anyway, look, just a little bit about Miz. I was watching him play a game against Voices, who's a Terran player before, and one thing that Miz is really cool at is timing the attacks. Like, we didn't see that in the last game. I guess we did after he macroed up a bit, but I would like to see more of an early timing attack. Do you happen to know of any good strategies for Protoss to do that against Zerg Unstable?
On Blistering Sand, you probably got the 2-3 Colossi timing that you got. He isn't going for a fast expand this time. I have seen, probably because of the new roach change, but what a lot of players do is they sit here and they wall off the choke going into their natural. Completely wall that off with gateways or a forge gateway, etc. Place a cannon behind it and fast expand. Once they get to about 2 or 3 Colossi, they push out, they take down any expansions from the Zerg, and then just keep them on 2 base. And there's a semi-contain, keeping a Zerg on 2 base while the Protoss take a third, which is pretty strong on this map, but it really depends on how well Azure's going to spread his creep, because just on the outside of Azure's base here, he's got that pretty wide arc with the ramp coming up the middle. If he can get his creep there and get a good concave, he'll be able to stop anything like that happening. But it's really just going to be up to him whether he can do it or not. So we did see a 14 hatch, 14 pull coming from Azure. He's just throwing his gas down as well. We have a look over here at Miz. He's going for a standard 1 gate into Cybercore. So I'm kind of surprised he didn't fast expand on this map compared to the last one. The only thing I can think of is the new roach change.
Yeah, I mean, that as well, and you can start attacking probably about the 4 to 5 minute mark, those back rocks. So one of the things that I think that what happens when you do get a fast expand is that your unit count's obviously going to be down because you've invested several hundred minerals into that expansion. So if you've got Zergo wants to play quite aggressively, they can go at the 4 to 5 minute mark up those back rocks and annihilate your main. So maybe he's just playing on the safe side instead of being like the hyper aggressive play that he usually is.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's something that a lot of players tend to forget. Like, especially at the mid to semi-high diamond level. They know the game, they know how to macro, but they just don't do enough at once.
Yeah.
The worst possible thing that you can do to a Zerg is to constantly keep pressure. Even if it's only like 3 to 4 zealots or something like that, you want to force them to make something other than drones. Like we saw in that last game where Miz had an advantage. He had a pretty big advantage. 15 drones and an expansion as well. And then because he didn't touch Azure, he lost that advantage. And really only won the game because of a bit of bad positioning by Azure, which is kind of frustrating to see. So,
yeah.
Really, if it happens again, Azure's obviously going to learn from his mistake of the last game and just going to come back to me. We do have 1 gateway and a robotics facility, so we're going to see 2 gate robo here coming from Miz.
Solid standard build as well.
It's solid. It's standard. I don't know. I haven't seen it as much lately versus Zerg, just because Protoss really want to get that first expansion up really quickly. And unless they're going roach heavy, the Immortals aren't as effective.
Yeah, and speaking of, we just saw a Roach Warren go down at the natural expansion. So, and also, it looks to be like, Azure started droning quite hard. He's got 4 on the way now. So he's trying to get up an early economy boost. He's hovering just above is at the moment with 3 extra drones. So that could be jumping up quite severely if no pressure is being laid down, which, 2 gate robo, it's really hard to get that early pressure out.
Yeah, it's more of a build that you wait a couple of minutes, get a decent army after that 3rd gateway goes down. But no, he's going straight into robotics bay. Okay, so he wants that first couple of Colossi.
Oh, a bit of a misclick there by Miz. He actually just pulled all of his probes off his
And he just
mineral
put
line.
5 probes on his gas too. What the?
Wow, and we saw his economy drop all the way down to 400. I'm sure that he's not going to be happy with that. I mean, he's a talented player, and he doesn't usually make mistakes like that. So that is something that you would definitely be frustrated at. Perhaps even cursing at the moment. It would be interesting if we had a mic there to hear his obscenities.
Yeah, definitely. So let's have a quick look at the income tab then. We got 29 to 29, but Azure is on that extra base. He's going to have the double queen for the lava inject. He's got about 5... Well, he's got quite a few empty lava there, but he's pumping out 9 drones now. Like, this is what I mean. You cannot let a Zerg do this. cannot do it. Like, if he doesn't creep... He's just spreading this creep trimmer up the front, but he needs to get that out there as soon as possible, because if this timing push comes with the 1 or 2 Colossi, he's going to have a very hard time if he's funneled into that choke, because that's just going to amplify the Colossi's effectiveness.
Yeah, definitely. So what do we got here? We just got one Colossus pin coming out. So one Colossus has just popped out. We've got another on the way. We don't have any expansion at the moment, so it's really hard to run a Colossus, which is obviously a T3 unit off of one base. Like, I would have liked to have seen an expansion coming down from Miz, trying to secure that. I mean, we've not seen any aggression at all from the Zerg player. So, you know, there's nothing really stopping him from expanding and defending that with what he's got. Also, when you have 2 or 3 Colossi as a Protoss player, it's really easy to defend any kind of attack on the natural expansion there, because that choke is so narrow. It's really easy to block off with Force Field or with Zealots, and then just let the Colossus go to town.
Yeah, definitely. So, as this second Colossi pops out, he's probably going to be going to push here. He's running down the front. I like the unit mix he's got here. He's got a few Zealots, he's got a few Stalkers, but even 1 Sentry for Guardian Shield would make a huge difference here. So what we need to see from Azure is not rallying his units over the other side of the map, for one.
Yeah, that was disastrous last game. That was such a small error that really cost him a lot of units. I mean, I think he lost, like, initially 4 or 5 Hydra to that pop that just walked straight past the army. So hopefully Azure's got his rally points in check. I've just checked them, and it does look like his main rally point is set to just at the front ramp of his natural.
Yeah,
so
I don't know what's going on here.
Too much.
He did see that army move out with his Zergling. He's still got he's got quite a units at the very top of the map. They're going to be completely useless as this walks in. He might be throwing this away here. He's selecting all his units. Wow, this is a big mistake here for Azure. He needs to get in there. He's dropping the Spine Crawlers now. He still has half his army at the top. That's going to be a big game. This could be game over already just because of that.
This could be. I mean, look at these Colossus go to town on this. Well, before they even get to burrow, those Spine Crawlers just took so much damage. However, those Zealots dropped quite quickly against those ro8 with the increased range. That striping is really good there on the... He stopped striping, but he did quite well there for a little while against those initial Rust Zealots. He's trying to work the Colossus. He's got one down. He's targeting the second one. It's going to drop, but I think it's just done way too much damage. This is the advantage that you have as Protoss. If you can just slightly micro those Colossus, the rest of your army can easily peel away the defending army, due to the fact that, you know, they'll be single targeting and just walking past all these other units that will be attacking them. But I think this Unstable might be a good game. I'm not quite sure, though. Is there anything Azure could do to get back in?
He might be able to capitalize the fact that it's been 1 base from Miz this whole time. Like, he is only got 1 saturated base, but I'm just, like, frustrated because I see these units up at the top, and he could have easily thwarted this entire attack if he'd brought them down.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at the income tabs at the moment, now he's probably the drones is going to change, but it was actually quite the same there. So, I mean, if he had the lava injection, if he didn't lose the queen, which was a little bit of a mistake, he actually had the queen going and attack that the Protoss army to start off with. He could have got maybe 1 more lava injection out just to pump out those extra, 4, 5, perhaps even 6 extra units.
He really should focus this Colossi too. All those roaches and hydras would have dropped that Colossi extremely fast. There are 8 more roaches on the way, but I think Azure's just realised he's got like 30 supply worth of units up the top.
Yeah. Wow. He still hasn't noticed me. He hasn't even moved them, which is a bit of a shame.
There we go. We are going to see a snipe on the Colossi. He does drop now, so he's going to be able to hold this off barely. So.
Wow, and look at that, 12 health points. Oh no, the lair goes down. Oh, it would have been amazing if that kept in the game. He could have, like, popped back up. He got his economy back online really quickly. I mean, that's the thing about Zerg. They can get their economy online so quickly, as long as they got those hatcheries there with those extra